Anyway.
Episode 27.
Episode number 27.
All right, 27.
And we
Yeah,
have Zeek here from Realty Executives. Go ahead and...
What's your actual name?
My full
Because you
name?
go by Zeek. That's how we
Yeah,
know
I go by
you.
Zeek. Everybody knows me by Zeek. Ezekiel is my first name, my full name. Last name Carlos, so I have two first names in my name. But yeah, I go by Zeek. So I've been going by Zeek since, you know what, actually? So my family on both my parents' side, they used to call me Junior because my dad is also Ezekiel. And then I got to this certain age and I was like, I don't want to be Junior anymore. I just I don't want to be Junior. So I just started telling people, call me Zeek. And it just stuck. So
Are you the oldest?
Siblings, yes, I am. So there's four of us. It's myself, and then I have a brother, and he lives in Fresno. And then my sister, who's also a realtor, Elizabeth, Liz. And then our youngest sister, her name is Eliana, and she just got married at the beginning of the year.
Nice.
So, yeah, she's here in Merced, too. So we're all here in Merced except my brother, who moved to Fresno a few years back, so he's out there.
That's not too far.
No, honestly, it's an excuse to go to Fresno.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, really. Fresno's nice, too. Like, I should say certain parts of Fresno are nice.
Yeah, hit and miss, right?
And a matter of fact, I'm actually looking at Monster Jam tickets for my boys, coming
cool.
in August. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I went last year.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go. Like, Gravedigger was my favorite one. And he's still around, so I'm like, oh, yeah.
I got a video of Gravedigger. I'll show you later.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely show me that because I'll geek out.
Yeah.
Relive my childhood. Core memory unlocked.
How long have you been in real estate?
Oh, man.
5, 6?
Yeah. Well, gosh, there's actually a whole long story to this, but I'll try to...
No. You got time. We're just starting, so you got plenty of time.
Okay, so I actually first passed my real estate examination fresh out of high school.
Okay.
I'm going to date myself here, but I graduated in 2006.
Oh, so we're the same age.
So graduated in 06 and got my real estate courses done pretty quickly right afterwards. My mom was already in real estate. So, I thought I wanted to give it a shot. So I did my courses. I actually wasn't sure what I was going to do exactly, but I knew I was very interested in real estate. Mm-hmm. So did my courses, took my test, passed it, and market crash. So yay, right?
Perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. So at the time, I was mentoring under a mortgage broker here, or lender here in Merced, and he had me under his wing, and so I learned a lot of things. And I thought maybe I wanted to get into loans. I wasn't too sure, right? It's going to be loans or real estate, and but market crashed. So he recommended to me. He's like, hey, I'm just going to recommend you to just get a bunch of experience in sales and customer service and that kind of thing, and build up your resume in that field. If you are going to be good at this, he said, you are going to be good at this, but this is the worst possible time to do it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I actually listened to him, and I got a sales job at T-Mobile.
Okay.
And so I ended up at T-Mobile a lot longer than I expected to. I think I was at T-Mobile for about 7 years, just about, and that's actually how I met Patty.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, yeah. So, and it was great. My experience at T-Mobile was good. It taught me a lot of great things about sales and customer service. And I mean, Patty will tell you the metrics that we have to keep track of at T-Mobile are like super, super intricate.
It's like high accountability.
Yeah, the levels of accountability there were very high, and it took thick skin to stay in that for that company. And it's not even because of the expectations that seniority had over you. Mm-hmm. I would say even just being in customer service and serving customers every single day, like we'd get yelled at. Stuff happens.
Trust me, I know. I worked at Save Mart and I worked at Starbucks, and ironically, people get mad when their coffee is not that.
Yeah.
So I understand that. Like, I'm so thankful for that job for the aspect of like building thick skin.
Yeah.
And then like just being able to talk to people when they're caffeine deprived.
Yeah. That's you get them at their lowest for sure.
Yeah. And I feel it myself. I was like, okay, I'm a little grumpy. I need my coffee. So I understand. So.
Yeah. So, that was good. A lot of great experience there. I mean, we had metrics, like at least a dozen metrics that we were tracking all the time. And it wasn't just sell a phone. It was, we had a certain percentage that needed to be new activations, some needed to be upgrades, then the accessories, and then the insurance plans, and then the internet plan upgrades before it was all unlimited. And then there was customer service, and we called it NPS.
Yes.
NPS?
NPS.
NPS. And, and all of these things were very important, and then there was the add-ons, the tablets, the watches. We had goals for everything. Everything. And they didn't really push us in a sense to say, hey, sell so many of these a month. The training model was more like ask the right questions. Ask questions that make your customer talk and engage with you more, right? Uncover those needs that they actually have that they don't. People walk into a cell phone store and they don't think about all the solutions that are provided or offered. They think about, I'm just here for a phone, right?
Yeah.
And but by asking questions, you can uncover some more needs that those people have, and so that. All of that works great at T-Mobile, but believe it or not, it works great in real estate too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really, really does.
Yeah, and I think that was, and I'm thankful for college, like taking a psychology class.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is what they say to you, ask it.
Yeah, repeat it back to them.
Repeat it back to them, but put it in a question.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that they're unveiling what their actually needs are. So I had an example. So I sub as well, and this kid was like, "Oh, I didn't have time to do that." I was like, "Well, what made you not have time to do that?"
Yeah.
And I just kept asking him, and he kept answering me, and he's like, and then we got to the root problem. It's like, dude, like, I just was blown away by like just that like one class that I took in psychology, and it just like broke down the barriers. To unveil like why he didn't choose to do that.
Absolutely.
And it was he just didn't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
And I knew that was the answer, but I wanted him to tell me that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So, it's good. All of that training, I don't take it for granted. I appreciate it. I don't at all regret my experience there. It's been great. I've met great people, made great relationships. I mean, to this day, a lot of them are my clients now.
That's awesome.
So it was a great run, and I'm deeply appreciative for that experience that it gave me. And, so I guess now to answer your original question, when I got licensed, right? So yes, I passed my real estate examination fresh out of high school, but I didn't do anything with it due to just being the worst possible time. So I let it die out. It expired. I renewed my license in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And I was in a transitional part of my life during that time too. So I was still trying to figure out, my mojo, figure out where I wanted to go. I had just left T-Mobile, so. And so I was like, okay, I'm done with this. That chapter's closed. On to the next, right? So I was kind of playing around with a couple of ideas even then. And that just kind of, I guess, in a sense that I should have started faster. I should have.
Right.
I that's one regret I have. I should have gone 100% and full time from the get go, but I was still playing around with some ideas. So I didn't really even start transacting until 2020.
Oh, okay.
That's when I started transacting, and then went over to Realty Executives 2021 and been there ever since. So, yeah, it's been a blast. It's fun.
I think he recruited me. He
Yeah.
recruited Anna. He
Yeah.
recruited Liz.
Yeah.
And Elisha.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is we all worked at T-Mobile.
So you took all the best people from T-Mobile and brought them over to Realty
and and there's more. I mean, Patty will tell you there's some other reps that worked for us, and they're in real estate now too. They're not with us, different companies, but
Right.
Yeah, one of them, Fernando, for example, super successful kid. I always knew there was something special about him since I first interviewed him at T-Mobile. And yeah, the dude now owns farmland in Mexico,
Oh, wow.
agave farms. And he moved to LA first and propelled his real estate career there,
Nice.
blew up like crazy. And there's other agents too, particularly up Turlock, Modesto area that I know from T-Mobile too. They worked at some of the other stores like in Turlock, Modesto, and they're all in real estate now.
So what you're saying is it's a good stepping stone to get into real estate.
You know what?
From what it sounds like.
For us.
You know what? If it worked for us, I mean, it's obviously working for others, and and if they're not, I can tell you a few off the top of my head right now too. Patty probably can too, that are selling cars now. You know, and they're successful. They sell a lot of cars.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Joe Stephanie actually was selling cars at one point, and then he made the leap to over the lending side of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
sales and customer service is sales and customer service.
Yeah,
man,
it's just. I think Michael said it best. It's like it's just the product that you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're good at sales, it's just the product.
Yeah, the product changes, but the sales pitch is there. You know,
it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
talking to people, uncovering questions and needs, and just the whole strategy behind the sales experiences and customer service. It's the same across the board. It really is.
So how are you so successful? Because I mean, I know, but I don't think a lot of people know how successful you are and like the volumes that you actually transaction or do sell. You're not a bragging person, which, a humble person, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Where I'm going is like, how are you so successful?
That's a very broad question. And I mean, I guess it goes back to how you measure success to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. For me, success is not like measured in volume or commission or how many customers I get to serve.
A dollar number.
Yeah, it really doesn't even have a dollar sign in front of it. To me, it's more like internal. It's an emotional,
correct. That's how
fulfillment.
I feel about it.
And man, there's been a few times where my clients are crying and I'm like trying so hard not to choke up, and people that never expected they would achieve home ownership, and I've got to experience all of that. And to me, that's when I drive away and I'm like, that was successful. Like, yeah, that feels so good, but I think to kind of give you a better answer, the agents or salespeople that embrace that actually, feel fulfilled by transacting like that and actually are passionate about providing an excellent customer service experience, that just translates into a volume.
Correct.
Because then you start seeing the referrals and the phone calls here and there, So I think that part just comes naturally. Mm-hmm. That, at least in my experience, it does. You don't have to do anything extra. Honestly, there's no secret sauce. No. If you ask me if I have a secret sauce to my business, I don't. I really don't. In fact, I can list you a longer list of things that I can improve in my business, that I don't do for whatever reason, or I don't make the time to, I don't prioritize. And I have a longer laundry list of those items than items that I can tell you this works for me. Right. For me, I love what I do. I love helping people. And I just find a lot of pleasure in that.
Yeah, I think that's the greatest feeling is like, especially the first time home buyers that have no idea that they can afford a house. Like that is like one of the greatest feelings, because I'm working with a client that's going to close this week and he's like, dude, I had no idea I can afford a house. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you actually talked to me, because like I've known this guy since like right out of college. So I've known him for like almost 20 years. And it's just like, we built that relationship. Like we went our separate ways, but he always like knew, like once he saw that I went into lending, he's like, I know exactly who I'm going to hit up, because I've known this guy for years. We probably haven't talked in a while, but I know that he's going to do the right thing, because he's not going to like, and I'm not in it to like get people into a house and then I'm never going to talk to you. That's like,
it becomes a relationship.
It does become a relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it was over the weekend. He called me. He's like, you and Brian, he's like, you guys are getting invited to the first barbecue that we have. I was like, yeah, dude, I'll be there. I'll make, like, if I'm here in town, like I'll for sure be there. Like I'll bring the kids and stuff. And it's like when I met his wife and his kid, and it's like, oh, this is special. It's always special when you get those families that are coming in.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that feels good.
It does.
When do you know you were a good teacher? Because you are a great teacher or a good mentor or both.
Yeah, so you're actually getting into something that I'm very passionate about now. And maybe that contributes in some ways to real estate too, right?
I think so.
So teaching. Yes, I'm very passionate about teaching. I absolutely love teaching and mentoring and pouring myself, into others to better them. Mm-hmm. When did I know I was good at it? I don't know. I just enjoyed it from the get-go.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that I was at the ripe age of 17 years old when it clicked for me, that I liked it. And this goes back to music. So a lot of people probably don't know I play the piano.
Oh, okay.
I've been in music since I was in diapers. My parents say that I was on pots and pans drumming, right? So I don't know. I have no recollection of when I started playing the drums, but I did play the drums at a very young age, and then and I loved it. I was drumming in church and a bunch of fun stuff like that. And then but my grandparents, my grandpa and my grandma on my mom's side, they were they were really trying to get me to play the piano. And I didn't want to. I was like, no, I just want to play the drums. I don't want to play the piano. The piano's for girls. Like, I was a kid. I didn't know better. I was like, drums are for boys. I just want to play the drums. I don't want to play the piano. And so I was stubborn. I didn't want to do it. I was happy playing drums. And so my grandpa passed away in, gosh, was it 2000? If my mom watches this later and I'm wrong, she's going to have my head. But my grandpa passed away. And when he passed away, my grandma came back to me and she was like, mijo, you know, your grandpa always wanted you to learn the piano. Like, you should try it, you know. And I'm like, this is so not fair. Like, you can't be pulling this card.
Yeah. Strumming on the chords of your emotions.
Yeah, I was like, this is, man,
such a grandma move.
Dirty, so dirty. But I was like, all right, I'll try it. So I tried it, fell in love with it. It was natural for me. It was a blast. I loved it. I was picking out things by ear, figuring out stuff on my own within weeks, and I was like, okay, this is cool, you know. So I took up piano. And then so when I was 17, by this point I was already with my like third piano teacher or so, maybe third or fourth piano teacher. And so that teacher at that time, his name was Joel. I'll never forget, because he's the one that really propelled me into this. And so he told me, you know what, Zeke, this week I'm not going to give you a piano assignment. I just want you to find somebody that you're going to mentor and train and teach, you know, to learn piano, teach them what you know. And I was like, bro, like, I can't teach. I don't know. You know, I'm still learning myself. Like, I'm not ready to teach. And he goes, no, you're absolutely ready to teach. And he saw it in me right away. He goes, and you're going to be really good at it too. He goes, but I want you to find somebody. He goes, I don't care if you charge. I don't care if you do it for free. Just find somebody, take them under your wing, and show them the ropes. Show them the beginning stuff, you know? So I was like, all right, bro, like, weird, but you know, so it was really uncomfortable and awkward for me in the beginning, but I knew already of a bunch of kids that wanted to learn the piano. They were watching me, and I was learning really fast, and they kept asking me to show them some stuff. So one kid, I offered to like give him a lesson, you know, and he was like, yeah, of course, you know, and I didn't charge anything. I did it for free. But during that lesson, at some point during that, I was like, wow, this is really fulfilling. Like, this is extremely satisfying. And I just got so much joy from watching that kid go, wow, oh, like, you know, like, and I just felt like, man, I'm pouring into somebody else and they're enjoying it. Like, they're having a blast, you know, and they were hungry for more, you know. So yeah, that's really what started it for me. I was pretty young. And and in fact, you know, going through my high school years, I started, or at least from that point on, that was like my senior year already, right? So, from that point on, I started thinking, well, maybe I want to teach. Maybe I want to be a teacher. And then, you know,
life happens.
Yeah, life happens. And I was like, no, I don't. And then I saw how much money my mom was making selling real estate. And I was like,
yeah.
But crazy thing is, I actually never stopped teaching music. And a lot of people don't know that. I still teach music. And I really shouldn't be putting this out there, because I'm not looking for new students. All right, so I'm putting that out there right now. I'm really not.
But if one pops up, no.
No. I am capped off. I actually used to teach Patty's daughter too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I am capped off. It's actually become extremely difficult to continue teaching music for me in, you know, working in this industry. Very difficult,
especially in the summertime.
You're so busy.
It's hard. You know, yesterday I had to cancel on like 10 people.
Oh man.
And I only kept 3. So I only teach on Mondays now. I used to teach throughout the week sporadically. I cut everything out. All the ones that were not very serious, I let them go. Told them, sorry, find somebody else. You know. And now I just have like a select, maybe a good, I want to say around a dozen, you know, kids that are like super passionate about it, and they really want to succeed. So I still have them. And that's kind of where I'm at. If I don't take on students that their parents just want them to learn anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So I just don't have time. I really don't. And so yeah, that's where I'm at. I still do that. And honestly, I just do it because it feels good to do it. I've been doing it for so long, and I'm passionate about it. I really am.
You mentor at the office too, right?
Yes, I mentor at the office. And you know, we have our group of mentors. That as we bring agents in that need mentorship programs, we have that available. So I'm a part of that mentorship group and the leadership group of that mentorship group too. So kind of overseeing all the mentors and checking in with them, making sure everything's okay. And, you know, enjoy that too. It's kind of the same thing, you know. Patty will tell you, I used to like block out a whole half day once a week, and we would just fill up the whole conference room with like newer agents that wanted to learn.
Oh, nice.
And we just go topic by topic by topic. Yeah, contracts. I mean, you name it, disclosures, whatever. And I was happy to be there. You know? And so it's fun. Now, you know, we've grown to the point where we launched now our mentorship program. So a lot of those responsibilities fall under the mentor individually, but yeah, we still do that. It's a good time.
Oh, he met me at IHOP.
Yeah, so Patty was serving me pancakes. And
it was my first job ever.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was already a store manager. I think I was a newer store manager at T-Mobile at the time. I had just gotten promoted to be a store manager. And I love IHOP. Like, Patty will tell you, I was there like every week. Probably.
Oh, really?
Oh, for sure.
I was there
all the time.
every Sunday.
And Patty always was like on point, man. Her service was like super good, you know. And I don't know, that customer service piece like really stood out to me. And so one day I was like, I'm just gonna ask her if she needs another job. So I did. I was like, hey, come work for me at T-Mobile. And she was like, what, boss? You know, and I was like, T-Mobile right here at the mall.
Yeah, that's her thing. All right, boss.
Yeah. And
it's kind of one of my things, dude. Like, I don't know. It's like a respect thing. And
for sure.
Yeah.
It's like endearment, but also respect at the same time. Yeah. So she was hesitant at first because, you know, she had stability and tips and everything at IHOP, right? But yeah, she made the jump. She did. We exchanged contact information, and it started off part-time, and she was like, I need to keep IHOP because this is, you know, stable. I go, okay. I told her, okay, I'll bring you on part-time, but I can tell you right now, when you get your first commission check, you're going to want to quit IHOP and come full-time. And she was like, well, we'll see. And what happened? She got her first commission check and she quit IHOP and came full-time.
Yeah.
So we worked together at T-Mobile for years, to the point where after I was a store manager, I became a district manager, and then I put her to be the store manager of the store in the mall. So she was managing that. But pretty quickly, I promoted her to be my assistant store manager, and then so we were teaming up, you know, doing everything. Then I got promoted to DM, and then eventually she took over that store too. So she became a store manager there, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. So like everything I know, sales, numbers, part of customer service, it's thanks to him.
Right.
Because that was like my second job, you know, like I was just server, waitressing, whatever. I think not anybody, but almost anybody can do that. And then he took me in. He mentored me really from the get-go. My English was so broken too at the time. I remember, like, he will talk to me in Spanish at times.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he taught me how to sell. He made me his assistant manager within 6 months. He made me a general manager within 9 months. Yeah. And then the rest is history. Yeah. I went to Panda from there. But everything that I needed to get the position at Panda, it was stuff that he taught me.
And she was very successful at Panda too.
I did pretty well.
Oh yeah, she was rocking. She was rocking it.
Yeah.
So
what store were you at Panda?
832, right here on Olive.
I was like, okay, numbers. You know what? It's okay because I do that too when it comes to Save Mart. Like I was like, oh yeah, I used to work at 53, and they're like, what? What's 50? I was like, the only one that's left here now, like, because there was 53, 391, and then we called Dirty 30, which was what's Cardenas on Main Street. Like,
oh yeah.
It just kind of like rhymed, and it was also like
a dirty store.
A dirty store.
Not that it was dirty. It was just the people that were coming.
Yeah.
Every time I went to cover there, dude, it was getting robbed. And
God.
Every time I had to stop them. And matter of fact, Devin was with me one time. Devin Rocha with is it HomeSmart? I think is what it. Me and him actually had to tackle a guy that was stealing booze, and we had to like, not like hog tie him, but like we had him by the legs and the arms, like so he couldn't get away. Cops rolled up. We knew the cops. We were like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, what are you doing over here at this store?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just filling in." They're like,
covering.
Every single time I went to store 30, every single time there was a rob.
That's hilarious.
And they're like, one time at store 53, I actually got hit in the eye or hit in the face. I didn't even realize it, and then like after we apprehended him, took him into the office, they're like, "Hey, dude, you got a mouse on your eye," and I'm like, "What?" And then we look at the camera feed and just reared back, and he punched me right in the eye, and I'm like, I didn't even feel that. Like the amount of times that like stuff has happened, like I got kicked in the shin by a girl that was shoplifting alcohol and like some cheese and stuff. There was another lady that was I feel bad for this one, but I guess she was a serial offender. So like she stole like bread, cheese, and meat, and I'm like, I didn't know at the time, and I had just turned 18, and I was actually able to apprehend people at that time. And then like I launched up and like on the curb over by what is now AutoZone, I like leaped off of that curb and I was able to get her, and I thought it was a guy at first because she had like really her hair was shorter than mine.
Wow.
So I thought it was a guy, and then she's like, "Oh my god, like why would you do that to a girl?" And I'm like, "Oops, like too late."
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years? Because I've seen you transition a couple times. I think you
not medically.
No. Yeah. Okay, no, physically, not medically.
Yeah.
You get it,
Just to clarify that.
Just to for the audience, you've grown a lot. I think you've grown a lot from where I mean, we all have, right?
Sure.
So we were younger, but like from where I met you to where you are right now, like there's a lot of growth. I only imagine you're going to continue growth. Where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years?
Oh man, definitely not where I am today. To me, I get bored real quick, right? I can't stand stagnance. That's actually why I left T-Mobile. It was once I feel like this is it, I hit a ceiling, you know, I'm done. And that's actually one of the reasons that I'm in real estate and that I stay in real estate, because the sky's the limit. You know, it's
also different every single time.
Yeah, there's a new thing to learn with every transaction. I feel like, you know, you're always learning something. There's new loopholes you got to get through. You know, there's always new challenges, and it keeps things interesting for me. You know, and I really like that. And plus, you know, nobody can tell me what's the most money I can make. You know, if I work harder, I make more money. If I work lazier, I make less money, you know, and so I'm in control of that, you know, and I really like that. So 5 to 10 years from now, definitely not where I am today. And I don't mean that in terms of brokerage company or industry. For sure, I'm still going to be in real estate, you know. Yeah. But I definitely want to be in a different setting, I guess. Maybe have like a team and, you know, to the point where I can transact at a higher volume, but still not thin myself out more. You know what I mean? Like,
I get what you mean.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't want to say, oh, new company, new brokerage, or have my own, you know, that kind of thing. But I am, you know, Patty knows I'm not the type to sit around for a very long time if I'm not developing any further, right? And so that's where I'm at. I closely watch my year-over-year performance, and not only in terms of volume, but also in like percentage of business that comes from referrals and stuff like that, right? Online lead source, word of mouth, repeat business, repeat clients. Like, I have statistics for all of that, and I like to keep a really close eye on it. That way I know where I need to have my attention, you know, in the given year. Like I could tell you that in the last 2 years, my referral / word of mouth / repeat business has more than doubled, if not almost tripled.
That's awesome.
In my business. Not that doesn't reflect a higher transaction account. Right. You know, that's not what I mean by that. But you know, if you see, you know, your old clients calling you and say, hey, help me with this, list that property you sold me, you know, I want to buy another one, or call this person, they need help, right? Those, I love those. You know, that makes me feel really good, because they wouldn't do that if I didn't do a good job, you know, if I didn't serve them. And so, and not only that, but if I'm putting my time, we all have, you know, 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. But if I'm dedicating the bulk of my time to that type of business versus trying to feel like, oh, what online lead source should I be researching to get more business from? Which I haven't had to do that in forever. You know what I mean? Like, that says something.
Yeah, because that's more organic than having to like pay for something to do that.
Yeah. And I'm not against paying for
there's
stuff,
nothing
you
wrong
know?
with that.
But
But
I'm a firm believer you have to pay into something for it to grow.
Correct.
You know, and in fact, like, I pay some pretty decent money for you know, some of my marketing pieces that I have in place, but that's apart from the point.
But I think what I'm trying to say is, like, the less you can spend, the better.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like, if you can continue getting referrals from your repeat clients and it's more organic, yes, you're going to be more profitable. But I mean, don't be afraid to use these lead generations as well.
100%.
It will help you out in the interim, but if you can get it to the point where you don't need to pay for it, that's the ultimate goal. Yeah.
In 2021, when I moved over to Realty Executives, that year, I joined 2 online lead sources, and just to kind of help propel me, right? And if I look at my sales sheet, like, my sales history for that year, 2021 and then 2022 and then 2023, you see like those referral fees that I was paying out shrink less and less, to the point where I think last year I only paid like 2 or 3 referral fees to third party.
That's great.
And so that means that the bulk of my business now is becoming a lot more organic, and so to me that's a big win. That doesn't necessarily mean I made more money in 2024 than I did in 23, but it's a lot cleaner business. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So yeah, it's solid and it's reputable, and it lasts. You know what I mean? It lasts.
Yeah, and especially for the town that we're in, it's more of a relationship face to face than it is like your internet leads and stuff like that. So even for this area, and I tell people, like, people call me all the time, hey, what do you feel about a lead generator? It's like, well, you got to understand, I'm like,
yeah,
our area is not with the technology side of things.
Right.
It's starting to get there, but it's not quite there yet. Yeah. So once it gets there, absolutely, that's going to be like your bread and butter of like, yeah, I'm going to pay for this, and you're going to get more business that way. But for the time being, we're still such a small town that it still has that small town vibe.
Yes, it does. I can't go to Costco without saying hi to 2 or 3 people. Target, same thing.
Can't
for real.
take you nowhere, dude.
No, Patio knows this too.
When Erica and I first met, I warned her. And we even went on our first date in Turlock, out of Merced area. And people were coming, hey, what's up, AJ? And I'm like, Jesus, I came to Turlock for a reason. And it's just like, I'm not trying to have a conversation with other people while I'm trying to be on a date.
Of course.
But, and I warned her, and she's like, is it like this all the time for you? I was like, I chose Turlock for a reason to get away from this. And it's...
While we're on that, how do you balance your family life, hat, and then
real estate?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
With how
so
busy you are
I can say I have not mastered that yet, and I don't think anybody
really
ever really truly does. And I don't know, I might be wrong, but at least for me, I know I've gotten better for sure. Like, something that I do, one of my practices now, is when I start feeling bogged down and like my attention is not balanced, I'll just go and book a trip, like right then and there. I'll just go book a trip, even if it's just a weekend or something, right? Book something, and that way I paid for it. It's happening, I'm not gonna walk away and lose money, right? And I'll even think, should I just buy the insurance in case I get busy and I cancel? And I'm like, no. If I, so that's something that's been helping me. In fact, I'm going out of town this weekend, Friday through Sunday, so I'll be.
Oh,
gone.
nice. I'm leaving Friday too.
Yeah,
I'll be back the next day, but it's just like
and then it helps also. Randy at Realty Executives, so he also books trips for us too, right? Depending on the tier of business that we do. So every single year, I go on a trip and he pays for it. So he pays for the hotel and the flight. I just got to get myself to the airport and spending money. That's it. So that is, I do appreciate that too. It's like a forced getaway type of thing. I mean, you don't have to, obviously we're not forced to go, but but who's gonna it's free, like, dude, who's not gonna go, right? And he doesn't go cheap either. We'll do like Miami.
Oh wow.
What's the trip this year?
We're going to what is it called?
Bora Bora.
It's in Florida, but it's on the west, on the west side, on the
west side. Oh, on the Panhandle?
Yes, inside. I think it's called Clearwater or something.
Clearwater sounds right.
That might be it.
That sounds right. The only reason I know is because the Centurion boats, like, they have like all different like types of places that they would go to.
So apparently this place is like one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. But yeah, it's on the west side. So it's not like Miami, which we've done Miami. We did Miami a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And last year we went to Hawaii. That was fun too.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, we've done Hawaii, Miami. We did Seattle one year. That was like a one-off. Odd one, but whatever. I mean, it's fun. It's always a good location, and he pays for it, so I do appreciate that. That helps a lot too. And he allows you to bring your +1, and
that's awesome.
And pays for it, and pay.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's an awesome perk because so I know Erica has like a work trip going. They're doing that. I mean, I have to pay for like my flight and like extra stuff, but like she's like, yeah, they said you can come as long as you pay for your own way to get
stuff.
there. So I'm like, so yeah, I'm going to Minnesota.
Nice.
It's not the first time I've been there. It'll be the second time I've been there. So Minnesota's it was pretty cool. It was it August? So it was like really humid.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to like see how September is going to be.
Yeah.
So, but Minnesota's pretty cool. We're going to go to the Twins game. I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
I'm like a huge baseball fan, and we have like these little mini bats that we get at every stadium that we've ever been to.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to like knock off
Collecting.
all 30 stadiums. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's on my bucket list.
What would you say to somebody to look for if they're looking for a broker? What to look for, and then for newer agents, what would your advice be for newer agents?
Okay, so your first question,
Yeah.
what to look for when you're broker shopping?
Yeah.
Call it that, right? Well, I would say it depends on who you are. If you are already an experienced and established agent, that's very different from if you're a newer agent, with maybe less transactions under your belt. If you're experienced, you're probably just going to go for the highest split, the most financially profitable, or the most support that'll help you with like marketing and keep your business successful and thriving. If you're a newer agent, I think you just need to be somewhere where they actually care to train you and teach you the ropes and are not going to gouge you, financially speaking. A brokerage with the mentorship program is huge. Not to put a plug, but kind of putting a plug. That's exactly
That's totally
we
fine.
have a really good mentorship program, and it's really, really good. Everybody that goes through it, they absolutely love it. And in fact, there's you'd probably be surprised, but there's a high number of agents that go through our mentorship program and they complete everything and they want to stay in it. And they'll go back and ask Randy, hey, I don't care. I'll pay my mentor, a little bit more. But I really want to stay in this program a little bit longer, and
Those are your mentorees.
no, they're not. No, that's it's common. It's actually common. You
I've
can ask
seen
the
it.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
they
seen
will.
it.
They'll say no. I want to stay in longer. I don't want to, go out. And it's not that they're not ready. They're learning. They're absorbing so much,
They
and
like the
they feel
support.
like being in the environment of somebody that actually cares about them is teaching them so much more.
Yeah, when you have somebody that cares and that's like taking you under your wing, it's like it's a huge warm fuzzy feeling.
Yeah,
Like,
and we don't.
It's the best way to put it.
We don't just let anybody become a mentor. Actually, all the mentors in our mentorship program are handpicked. So it's not one of those things that we sent out an email and say, hey, who wants to be a mentor? You're going to get a cut of their first couple transactions or whatever.
Right.
Nothing like that. Actually, we go and handpick them and extend the invitation. And because we would know it's somebody that is passionate about teaching, that has a good head on their shoulders, they're, at least pretty close to being full-time in the industry, and they're going to be available, right? And that they have a decent number of transactions under the belt where they can give advice and teach accordingly, right? So that's kind of what we look for. Your second question.
What's your advice?
What's
for
your
newer
advice for a
agents?
newer agent? Yes. Okay. So just to kind of start with, let me tie the two questions together real quick. So giving advice to a new agent that's looking for a brokerage, because I've been asked this before, and not even by agents that are in our office, by agents that have ended up with other offices, and that's fine too, right? I always tell them one thing, well, several things, but this one is like religious. I always tell them this. Walk into that interview like if you're the one doing the interviewing. Don't go in thinking like they're interviewing you.
Yeah.
Right. Like you need to ask questions like, what is that brokerage going to do for you? Not the other way around. I think a lot of people go in, and this is not just real estate. A lot of people go into an interview expecting to be just asked all these questions, right? And they're preparing all the right answers in their mind, right? Like, what's my weakness? Oh, I work too hard. I mean, like, right? So a lot of people already have that mentality walking into an interview, but I think in any industry, not just real estate, again, you should go into an interview and go in with that mentality, like, what is your company going to do for me, right? And this could be for going to McDonald's. Like, it doesn't matter where you're going to work. Like, you need to ask questions to who's interviewing you, and what's the potential for growth. Give me your stats for your new agents. What are your average transactions that your agents do? Like, ask for that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if they don't know, that's a red flag. And if they're skipping around the question, they don't want to answer it, that's probably also a red flag, right?
Yeah, because every interview that I knew that I crushed, it was because I was the one asking questions.
Yes.
So every time that I like went in for a job opportunity, I'm like, it was weird because I can sense the room, and I'm like right away, I'm like, this job isn't for me. So I'm not going to ask the questions.
Yeah.
When I would walk into it and I felt it, it's like, okay, I'm definitely going to be asking questions like, what is your dress attire? Like what, like little basic things like that.
Yeah.
And then it like uncovers, I'm like, okay, well, what else do you guys provide for that? But no, that's absolutely
And even
true.
the panel or the people you're speaking to, ask them, how long have you worked with this company?
Yeah.
Where'd you work before? How long were you there? You know, like these kind of questions will raise indicators for you to know if that's the right fit for you, right? And I'm not here to say that Realty Executives is for everyone, because it's not. And that's the way it is with any company, any job, any brokerage. So I think for a new agent, they need to know and have that mentality. Like, hey, like they're going to go to these brokerages for interviews, and every broker is going to make them feel like, I want you to come join, you know,
Right.
Or at least most probably will. And, but you know, they shouldn't be so happy and excited to, oh, I got the job, right? But no, you need to make sure you're the right fit for that company, and that company's a right fit for you, you know?
Right.
And not that it's going to be a guarantee. You might go in and then it's a different ball game from what you interviewed,
Right.
you know, but at least it'll get you close to making the right decision with that. And then all the other little stuff is like, hey, you know, treat it like a job. I say that to all the new agents too. Treat it like a job. Just because you don't have to clock in, that doesn't mean you shouldn't treat it like that. Like,
Right.
get your ass up and go to
right,
work.
Because
right?
just because there's not a set schedule doesn't mean that you can't set a schedule for yourself.
Exactly. Everybody needs to have a schedule. Like I have a schedule for myself, you know, and everybody needs to have that. Even, you know, even new agents, it's so easy to just feel like, oh, I'm an independent contractor now.
That's
you know,
how I felt when I was in college.
You know,
I don't have to go.
I'm not going to get
required.
fired if I don't go,
Right.
I'm not going to get a write-up if I don't go. And if you struggle with that, then this whole field is not for you.
Right.
You need to find somewhere else, you know, because people will see it as a benefit, like, oh, I don't have a boss, right? But if that's the case, then you probably should have a boss.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So like that was one of my struggles with when I first got in. I didn't know. I didn't know that's how it was going to be.
Yeah.
But once I kind of had the feeling and the footing of it, and it's like, okay, this is how it has to be.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, like I actually went to therapy while I was with Centurion Boats about like having setting it up for structuring yourself. And that's when I kind of figured out that I had ADHD, was when I was at Centurion Boats. So like, you need to do this, and this, write things down. Like for me, it was writing things down, help me kept organized. And like, I don't write things down as much, but I have like a checklist in my head of things. Like, so when it's something new, I kind of have to write things down until I get the process of it. Once I get the process of it, then I don't need to write things down. So
cool.
But yeah, it took me a little while to like, well, I don't have to be in right away. And it's just like, I'd always ask Joe, hey, what time do I have to be in tomorrow? And he's like, whenever you want. I was like, that wasn't the answer.
Like 8:30. All right, I'll be there.
Yeah, that wasn't really the answer that I wanted to hear. But it was
o'clock.
like, but now it's like, okay, you know, I try to leave my house about 9:30 to be here about 10, and it's like, if my phone rings at 8 o'clock, I'm obviously I'm answering. So it's not like just because I'm not in the office doesn't mean I'm like mentally clocked in at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So like when I wake up and the boys are out of the house, I'm mentally clocked in. Yeah. So
You're part of the financial board this year.
Yes.
How is that?
It's been fun.
Is this the first time you're like on part of something within the association?
Yes, it is. Hector he personally asked me to join this year.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
And so I did. Yeah, I said, you know what? I didn't even hesitate. He told me if you need to think about it, and I was like, bro, it's you asking. Like, no, there's nothing to think about. You know, I'll do it. Yeah. And he was very happy, and I've been thrilled to be a part of it. It's fun. You know, and it's not too much. It's not too heavy. We show up once a month. You know, meet for an hour. Go over some documents and do a little bit of auditing, you know, all together collectively as a team.
Yeah.
And brainstorm if we need to brainstorm on some ideas and stuff. But yeah, no, it's good. It's very comfortable. It doesn't take away from my business or anything like that. So I'm for it.
Do you see yourself staying involved with the board? Are
Yeah.
you going to join YPN next year?
This girl, she's been throwing this plug at me for a couple years
I think
now.
we've all been like, come on, Zeke, you should join. You
I
should
know,
join.
I know. There's a good chance. Oh, we'll leave it at that. There's a good chance.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely enjoy being involved. I mean, I have a lot of great friends here. You know, you guys included, obviously. Yeah, there's no reason not to. You know, as long as I'm not bogging down my business. You know, with it.
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. You know, it's lending a hand, it's helping, it's supporting. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Any special thank yous to anybody or anything else you would like to add or mention or touch on?
I'm really just everybody that supports the business.
Nick, can we do a shout out to Nick?
A little shout out to Nick Lucia. Sure. Yeah, so he's one of my partner lenders. And I mean, we do a lot of business together.
You two became close friends.
Yeah, and it was we were not even. It was kind of by chance. I got a client from an online lead source when I was first starting off, and this client was already pre-approved, and she was like really reserved about her approval letter, which was a little weird, right? It's weird, especially now, but back then the market was hot back then, so it was just one of those things. But she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you," and I was like. The lady's name was Carla, and I was like, Carla, come on, I need your approval letter. Like, we're looking at properties. I need to know. You know, she's like, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. And I was like, I started getting a little sus. But then she sent it to me, and so she was approved with him already, and kind of just took off from there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Years later,
we're still rocking and rolling. Yeah. But that's just one. You know, I have a lot of other partner lenders too, some local guys, and Nick doesn't speak Spanish, so if I have Spanish speakers. That's really difficult. So, but yeah, I mean, I think the entire team, I tend to lean towards like First American Title for title and escrow stuff too. But not to say anything about the other ones. Like I work with Trans County Title too, WFG, of course, all of them, right? But everybody's pretty instrumental in the team that we have. My transaction coordinator, dude, I don't know what I would do without my TC. Seriously, like
honestly, I don't know what I would do without my processing team.
Like that's crazy. Like seeing all the disclosures. Like one morning, she's like, "I'm working on your file." I'm like, "Okay." I'm gathering disclosures, and then like 3 hours later, it goes out in DocuSign. I'm like, dude, and I'm like going through all the pages. I'm like, it took forever to put that together. Like I could never, you know. But besides that, like administration's never been my strong suit, right? It's definitely not the funnest part of the transaction either. I do better when I have the customer in front of me. Like
I'm the same way, man.
For me, that's my zone. You know, if I get the customer in front of me, that's it. It's done deal. Yeah. So that's my sweet spot. So, but yeah, that's it. I guess.
All right. Well.
Yeah, that concludes. Yeah.
Cool.
Episode 27.
You want to shout out your Instagram or Facebook?
Sure. Zeek Sells Homes, and then my name for Facebook.
Ezekiel Carlos.
Yeah.
The guy with two first names.
And then I just made a TikTok. I haven't put anything on it. Yeah, it's the same handle, Zeek Sells Homes also.
Are you handling your TikTok or is your assistant handling your TikTok?
So there's nothing posted on it, but all right, if you guys got like 2-3 more minutes, I'll tell you the story.
Yeah.
All right, because this is a good one. The only reason I made a TikTok, you know the story already? No?
You tell the story.
All right. I didn't know if you knew it already or not. I don't remember if I told you. The only reason I made a TikTok was because I wanted to watch a video that a bunch of people started sending me like one random weekend. Like people from out of town, people from here. And it was on TikTok. And if you don't have TikTok, you can't really watch the video. It goes to the web browser, and then it gets
the web browser is like you need to make an account to watch it.
It's funky, right? So,
that's how they get you.
I had to see this video because it was a video of somebody that recorded my car, and so
he went viral.
Yeah, I'm serious. Yes,
you have to send me that video.
Over 2 million views. Yeah,
no way.
Viral. Yes. And in fact, so this chick posted it on TikTok, and within like 3-4 days, it was over 2 million views.
Wow.
Already. And yeah, it was crazy, like hundreds of thousands of shares. Like it's crazy. The comment section ripped, bro. Like the comment section ripped.
Dude, the internet does not care
at
all.
But why did she make the video, right? What's on your license plate?
My license Is this appropriate for the?
Yeah,
you're
good.
All right. So my license plate is basically on my way to sell your house. Okay. OMWTSYH. On my way to sell your house. AJ's already thinking.
No, I'm like, okay, what could that be?
So
This chick.
you may need to cut this, but anyways. So this chick, I was at Dutch Bros drive-through. Okay. And so she's behind me, and she's like, okay. So I have a plaque around my plate also. It says realtor, right, kind of thing.
Okay.
Right? So it's obvious.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, so, I mean, I get it. He's a realtor on my way to sell your house. I get it, right? But tell me why, she said this. Tell me why when I first saw it, I thought it was on my way to steal yo ho. So it went...
It went viral.
It went viral, bro. Like over that weekend, it
I
just went.
sent it to him. Everybody sent it.
Everybody sent it to
my
me. Everybody that knew my
gosh.
car, that knew my
That
plate.
we were
yeah.
like, that's a secret.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
That is
I was just getting.
awesome.
It was everybody was texting it to me like, bro, your car, and I was like, what the heck, dude? So I downloaded TikTok, made an
That
account.
is
and-
awesome.
crazy. So. Yeah, that's my car. Crazy thing. Check this out. Do you remember David Barrera from Modesto?
Yes.
Okay, so he's
He saw it too.
yeah, but he didn't know that it was me. So he knows I'm a realtor, right? And he actually is very interested in getting into the business. We know him from T-Mobile. He was a store manager at one of my Modesto locations. So
Cool dude.
yeah, super cool dude. Super. In fact, I just went to go see him last week or 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
Anyways, so he texted me the reel. Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, it made it to Instagram too.
Yeah.
Not by the girl. A meme page.
Yeah.
Took
yeah.
her,
And then they
stole it and then put it on the meme page. So he sends me the reel from Instagram, and he's like, "Bro, look at this. Is hella funny." And I'm like,
Dude, that's my car.
And he's like, "Nah." And I'm like, "Bro, yeah, it is."
So
And
you
he's
had to
like,
take a picture of your.
So I literally pulled over. I was driving. Not that I was driving and messaging him, but anyway,
No,
I was
Yeah.
driving.
I mean, hey, we have voice
Safely.
technology.
Yeah.
yeah.
Instagram DM does that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I pull over, I go into a parking lot, and then I literally like pull up a video and I record it. And I'm like, bro, look, and I squat down to my plate, and he calls me and he's like, no way, and I'm like, look at. And so he was dying laughing. Like he kept bringing it up every day for like 3 days. He's like, I still can't believe that was actually you. And then so yeah, that happened. And then I went to go see him. I actually stopped by because he works for AT&T now.
Oh, okay.
So I stopped by. I was showing property in Modesto a couple weeks ago. So I stopped by to say what's up to him. And so I go inside. You know, we talk a little bit, and he goes, I need to see the plate, bro. I need to see the plate. And I was like, all right, let's go. So we go outside, and he takes a picture. He's like, dude, oh my god. So yeah, that's what happened. That's why I have a TikTok.
That's why you have a TikTok.
I haven't
That
posted
is
anything
hilarious.
yet. I made it a business page, so it has all my real estate stuff on it, DRE number, etc. But
Yeah.
I haven't used it. It's just there. So I will.
That is
We should
hilarious.
And I
link
need to,
the
like-
video to this episode.
Yes. Okay. It is going to be in the bottom of the description, and you guys can see the TikTok/reel on whatever you're following it on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay,
yeah.
for sure.
We'll definitely need that.
Yeah, it's I'll send
That
it.
is awesome. Yeah, please do text that to me because
Yeah.
I want to send that to like
To a couple
I want to
people?
send that to everybody in the office.
Yeah,
Like-
it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But that's what happened. And everybody was telling me you should message the girl and tell her it's you. Like get your at in there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I should. Everybody's right. But
Yeah,
I haven't.
no,
I never
should.
did.
You should.
Get credit.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, dude,
That's a
that
good
is
one.
so awesome.
Yeah, hilarious.
I mean,
Hilarious.
I had one post go viral, and it was Friday night SmackDown, and it was like the Niners like just beat the Cowboys, and it says like, oh, this is our year, and it was the Niners like, shut your beep ass up, and I'm like. I was like, oh, that's great. And I kind of just like, I threw it together and I just put like all Niners and Cowboy stuff. And then
Yeah.
like the next morning it had like
A bunch of.
bunch of views. And I'm like, oh my
Whoa.
God, I didn't even know I was going to do that. I was like, this is awesome. Like,
That's wild.
So I posted it on like a Sunday night because they played Sunday night. It was literally right after the game happened. So like West Coast time was 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So by the time like I woke up, it had like 30,000 views. And like by the end of the day, it had like over 100,000 views. And I'm like,
That's crazy.
what is going on? Like it was like a 5-second reel or
Yeah.
a TikTok. You know, it's just
After
like.
all it takes is a few good shares to some people that are gonna like keep sharing.
And
Oh,
and just
yeah.
blows up.
Yeah.
And it just blew up. So
That's crazy.
yeah, I haven't had another viral post since, but like I thought it was kind of cool. Like I was like, man, I made my first like really funny video. That I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it'll get a couple thousand views. Like,
yeah.
Did not expect more of it after that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So yeah, that concludes episode number 27.
Yeah, a little bit of an
On
extension
your
there.
way.
Yeah. No.
Sell your house.
On my way to sell your house.
Not steal your home.
Anyway, all right,
Good
Zeke,
stuff.
it was a pleasure having you
Yeah,
on here.
thanks, guys, for having me.
Episode
Thank
number
you.
27 is in the books.
We'll be out
We
next
have,
week.
I think I'm gonna get
out
out
this
this.
week?
I think we're gonna get it out this Friday. I'm gonna try and get when we record. I'll try and get it out that Friday. So,
Sweet.
We have Amanda next week.
yeah, Amanda next week.
Sweet.
It's actually gonna be at
Her office?
At her office. So it's gonna be nice.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna set up there, and we're gonna have a good interview that, and then we have Brian Raymond coming up.
the week after.
Finally, we've been asking him since
For a
we
year.
first started, but he was busy with the president's stuff
Sure,
and
yeah.
all that. So yeah, he's like, I got more time on my hands, and I'm really looking forward to Brian because
He's funny.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He's
He's a
super
cool
funny.
dude.
He's into wrestling. I'm kind of into wrestling too, so it's gonna be really cool to interview him. So
Awesome.
yeah, we're looking forward to that. We got the Rib Cook-Off July 11th.
Yeah.
Get your tickets if you're wanting to sponsor. Hit up your local YPN person.
I bought mine already.
You got your tickets
I sure
already?
did, yeah.
Nice. I believe me and Michael are going to be emceeing again, so that should be a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're going to be. It's going to be an early morning. I think we said. Was it 7 a.m.? No, I think it's going to be earlier than that. Teams are going to show up before then.
Yeah,
so-
they got to prepare.
Yeah, they got to start prepping and
So
stuff.
food
So
serves from 12 to 2.
12 to 2 is when we're going to serve food. I think
And then the judges start also at noon to 1.
12:15. I think.
12:15 to 1.
That's still debatable. When we'll actually start. But yeah, DJ more than likely going to be there at 10, so we'll start rocking with some music and stuff. We're trying to get it. Are we still working on getting a dunk tank? Is that in the works, or I think?
No idea.
Yeah, I think that's in the works.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a party. So
All
it'll be a
right.
lot of
All
fun. So anyway, but yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for episode number 27. Again, thank you very much, Zeke.
Thank you guys for
popping
having
in
me.
for a few minutes. So
Yeah.
until next time.